Testing, testing, test. No music today, y'all, because we got a lot to go over. A lot to go over. So we're going to get right into it. Testing 1, 2. If you're in the chat right now, let me know you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up real quick. Let me know the sound is good, and then we'll get started. We have a lot to cover. All right, so while I wait for y'all to give me a thumbs up, just throw me a thumbs up in the chat so I make sure my sound is good, y'all. Because the last thing we want is me to record this whole thing and something's wrong with the audio. All right, so BTC right now, 57 stacks, 143. We went all the way down to like $1.10. I think we went below $1.10. Was that last week? Last week, absolute insanity. Praying for everyone who was affected and, affected by liquidations and things of that nature. It was nasty last week. So if you were able to buy some stacks at 110, good for you. Dot at 426 right now, so forth and so on. Okay, so crawfish, it's good. Perfect. Thank you. So I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope everyone is in, I guess a hopeful spirit. Last week was rough. It was super rough. And you may know people who felt the intensity of last week, may have been affected in some sort of way. Just pray for your brothers and sisters out here, because it's something in these crypto streets, right? So me buying one more dip, as we see on the screen. I don't know about y'all, but we're scraping. We're scraping for pennies and nickels and dimes to continue to buy what we're in right now, which is a bit of a pullback, a bit of a dip right now. And like I said, we went down to what, like 49K last week with BTC. So hopefully everybody was able to take advantage of that, at least in some sort of way. Okay. Moving forward, before we get into some things, I wanted to talk about Artifact real quickly. Artifact finally has done the ANIMUS reveal for those of you who were collecting the egg. So that has been exciting. We'll see what that turns into. Right now I have zero expectations, especially when it comes to the NFTs, zero expectations for any of this shit. And we're going to talk about that later on. So please stick around. Okay. So this is the line of the Nike Artifact dunks that have now been fully shipped out and received by customers. I myself got the OG and the Clone X. These were the two exclusive sneakers and colorways. I kind of wish I got the whole fleet. I kind of wish I got all four of them, but I'm still pretty happy with having a couple pairs of the dunks, a couple pairs of the OGs, and a couple pairs of the Clone X. One to wear, one to collect. We'll see how Artifact evolves in the sneaker world. Next, I also wanted to shout out for anybody who is a creator. If you know somebody who is a creator in your life, who's into fashion, who's into sneakers, who does 3D work, who does animation, who does any of that kind of stuff, please introduce them to Artifact. There is so much innovation happening with Artifact and creators. They also just, let me go back to the Artifact Twitter real quick. They recently had a competition with hella entries of people creating mods for these dunks. So again, if you know anyone in your life who can, who has the creative spirit to get involved with this kind of stuff, this is opening doors for creators and giving them a lot of exposure as well. There was another video that went, yeah, so this video, they just go through a bunch of the entries for this competition. A lot of these creators doing cool stuff. All right. And so let me go back. So another example of what a creator did, they bought a bunch of, which is genius. Like, right? If you're thinking about this stuff, he bought a bunch of the ghost pair, which is the white pair, and is doing like custom dyes on these sneakers. So again, like people really thinking out of the box, getting exposure to their brand, and things of that nature. So don't sleep on it. All right, moving forward. Aiden Ross really figured it out. Aiden Ross found a cheat code in investing in stocks and crypto. Let's listen to this.
If you guys listen to what I'm about to say, you're gonna make a lot of money, all right? Here's a method that I came up with in stocks and in crypto. Don't put laughing emojis and shit, just listen. Buy when it's low and sell when it's high, okay? So like, for example, when ETH hits $4,000, sell all your crypto. When it goes back down in the 2000s, you buy. You understand what I'm saying?
If only it was that simple, right? And I brought this up because we're going to cover this later in this episode, and I'm pleased to tell you that it actually is that simple. If you have a strategy and a plan, an exit strategy and exit plan, right? So I'm really going to be drilling that into our heads going into this bull, if the bull is still a bull. But yeah, buy low, sell high. That's literally all we have to do. That's it, right? It's literally that simple, but for some reason, we get caught up in all the hype, the diamond hands talk. Our egos get ballooned in the bull. Everybody thinks they're a genius, right? You think it's going to keep going up, and before you know it, you're left holding the bag. And the Paris trip that you were supposed to take, someone else is taking that because they cashed out when they needed to, right? So all right. And with all the crypto stuff and stock stuff, again, I always want to remind people it can be as simple as just dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, right? It literally can be that easy as well. Okay, moving forward. So where are we going with Bitcoin? Let's see what Aimstone says is a possibility here.
Now we could observe some interesting pattern. Yes, it seems like now Bitcoin is forming this more or less ascending triangle. But guess what? Before Bitcoin has been forming this ascending triangle, Bitcoin has this huge lag. Hopefully another lag will be just around the corner. Yes, hopefully that lag will propel BTC to about $100,000, six figures. That's what we're waiting for, and we have been waiting for quite some time. Hopefully it is going to happen sooner than later. Additionally, in this 1 weekly Bitcoin chart.
Okay, so again, I'm not much of a trader, and I don't follow a whole bunch of traders, but when I do like to look at the charts, I go to a few select individuals on the web, and one of them is Aimstone, and we'll see. Hopefully things are still on track for us to be cashing out a lot of money come Christmas, right? Hopefully December will be the December that we know it to be in Bitcoin bull runs, right? So we'll see what happens. Okay, moving forward. What's up, Creole? Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up when you drop in. I appreciate that. If you have any thoughts, any questions, any comments, whatever, drop it in the chat. All right. So let's go over here to Yago. Okay. Let's get into some Bitcoin L2. And speaking of that, before we get into Bitcoin L2, I'm almost ashamed. I forgot to go over the rules of this channel. So let's go back over this rule over here real quick and go over this. So 1, nothing matters if your security is trash. Nothing. 2, if it's not Bitcoin, it's a shitcoin. If it's not Bitcoin, it can get sold and sold without hesitation. Okay. 99% of Bitcoin L2s are scams, which we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So stay tuned. 4, take full responsibility for your actions in this market. Okay. It's no, if you lose some money in this market, whatever, it's nobody's fault but yours. Period, point blank. We're all adults and we should all have enough awareness of what we are doing in these markets. Okay. 5, never financial advice. I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is that I'm just trying to read this stuff and figure it out. Okay. So don't listen to anything I say. This is just giggles and grins. We're just shooting the shit over here. 6, don't get liquidated. Whatever you do, don't get liquidated. And I'm really excited to, as I go through this cycle and having gotten as many collateralized loans, and this being my first real experience in dabbling with collateralized loans, I'm learning so much. And there's a lot of things that I would have done differently if I had the knowledge then when I was opening these loans versus now, right? So I can't wait to really reflect on this and maybe do an episode on that further down the line. 7, not having an exit strategy is irresponsible. Not only is it irresponsible, it's like, it's dumb. Like, we gotta keep it real. If you do not have an exit strategy, it is dumb. It's just not smart, fam. It's not smart. And I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to get to it later in this episode, so stick around. Okay, let's go to Yago. Okay, Bitcoin OS here says they called Bitcoin a, quote, dumb chain, only good for investing and holding. Then we introduced ZK proofs. Now Bitcoin is poised to surpass Solana and Ethereum with unparalleled functionality and scalability. The Bitcoin upgrade is here.
Okay, so what's your thesis around altcoins versus Bitcoin?
Think about Bitcoin as an investor. You can think about altcoins as a trader, right? It's traders versus investors. And up until now, Bitcoin has been the chain for investors, and everything else, like the wider crypto world, has been for the traders. This cycle is a bit weird. Meme coins are going crazy, and things like Aptos and Sui, which were supposed to be like the next big wave of L1s, are suffering, right? And I think a big reason is that we've spread the crypto space like thin butter. There's not enough liquidity users to go around to so many different L1s. And so things are starting to consolidate around Solana and around Ethereum. Obviously Bitcoin. What's changed now is that Bitcoin is able to start having roll-ups, is able to start having smart contracts. And so we're going to start seeing, like, Bitcoin has entered the chat.
Do you think that Bitcoin can disrupt that network effect? Or do you think that we're going to live in a world where Bitcoin is a store of value?
Yeah, look, as of 2 days ago, Bitcoin was a dumb chain that could only be used as a store of value.
Yeah.
And it was 55% of the market, right? Then a day ago, we announced that we can now do ZK proofs on Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
That was the big thing that we've managed to, like, that's our break. What that means is that now that 55% can only grow because it's now competing with Solana for the biggest ecosystem on any particular chain. It's competing with Ethereum for modularity. And so I think things are going to get really, really spicy.
And spicy it is going to get. Indeed. So if you're not familiar what Yago is talking about, they kind of had a big milestone moment. And here they say, we have done it for the first time ever. A ZK proof has been verified on Bitcoin mainnet by Bitcoin OS. Okay. And a historic moment. Things are spicing up, y'all. Okay. We still have a long way to go, but things are definitely spicing up. And I wanted to spend some time on OpCat. Okay. I know we've been hearing a lot about OpCat. What I'm about to go over is the simplest, most direct walkthrough of what OpCat is. Okay. And this is by Petty. Satoshi Nakamoto created OpCat in 2009 when creating Bitcoin. He then disabled it in 2010. Now, TapScript enables it again. Only a small circle of people know about its capabilities yet. The potential is insane, though. Okay. Man, and I had some highlighting marks in here. They're gone. Oh, well. Okay. So what is OpCat? OpCat was once a part of Bitcoin's scripting language, but was disabled in 2010. Thanks to TapScript, it's making a comeback. Here you can see Satoshi's changes from August 25th, 2010. Okay, and that's a link to the GitHub. Okay, Adam Beck talked about it some time ago as well, and Adam said OpCat is extremely simple. Bitcoin had it before. It doesn't have to be the only covenant. People can learn from the experience and inform a later covenant opcode. It is composable and usable for other things. People who understand consensus code have explained these. Okay. Petty continues, in October 2023, a proposal came up to reintroduce OpCat as an opcode for TapScript by redefining the existing opcode opsuccess 126. TapScript is the scripting language used for Taproot enabled transactions. What is OpCat? OpCat is said to innovate Bitcoin by bringing smart contract capabilities to Bitcoin, expanding its potential for layer 2 applications. Imagine taking two pieces of data and instantly merging them into one. That's exactly what OpCat does. Whether you're working with strings, numbers, or other data, OpCat simplifies the process, making it easier to handle complex operations. But there's a twist. OpCat was disabled in Bitcoin's early days because it could create scripts that consumed too much memory. Picture this: a script with OpCat could turn a tiny 1 byte value into a monstrous 1 terabyte stack value. To prevent this from happening, OpCat was shelved until now. Thanks to TapScript, the issue is resolved. TapScript limits stack elements to 520 bytes, making OpCat not only safe, but a game changer for Bitcoin. But why does it matter? OpCat is more than just a cool code. It's set to redefine what's possible on the Bitcoin network. Here's how. 1. Enhanced script capabilities. With OpCat, developers can now build and manipulate larger integers directly within Bitcoin scripts. This opens up endless possibilities for applications that rely on complex number operations. 2. Zero-knowledge applications. Zero-knowledge proofs, ZK proofs, are the future of privacy and security in blockchain. OpCat makes it easier to create and verify these proofs by simplifying the process of building complex data structures. 3. BitVM, bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin. Smart contracts have long been Ethereum's playground, but OpCat could change that. By enabling more complex scripts, OpCat paves the way for BitVM, a concept that could bring Ethereum-like smart contracts to Bitcoin. 4. Decentralized staking. Decentralized staking with OpCat could help build more robust and decentralized staking mechanisms by making it easier to construct and evaluate so-called quote slashing conditions. But as exciting as OpCat is, not everyone is on board. Major changes to Bitcoin require community consensus, and some people prefer a more minimalist approach. Okay, and he links to a Shinobi tweet, and he kind of goes through his beef with introducing OpCat. Okay, but continuing with Petty here. They argue that Bitcoin should prioritize other soft forks that focus on core issues like scalability and privacy rather than adding new functionalities. Despite the debate, the hype around OpCat is definitely there. As Bitcoin continues to evolve with innovations like ordinals and runes, OpCat could play a crucial role in pushing its capabilities even further. To be honest, I've never seen so much development happening on Bitcoin before. And if we go down here, OpCat reminds me of the op return field we know from runes. All of these things haven't been used yet, and the fact that it gets used now makes me feel like a renaissance is happening. And a renaissance is happening indeed, right? So I thought this was incredible. I learned so much within this thread. So please go back and read this from Petty. What's up, Creole? What's up, Joe? All right, so continuing on, BitVM 2 and BitVM Bridge. Alexi has posted, Alexi of Build on Bob and Interlay has posted some, published some papers regarding some improvements and innovations that they are doing with BitVM. Okay, so things moving along. And now let's get into this post here by Janus. I don't know how to say that, but kind of one of the leaders over here with Bitcoin Layers. Incredible resource to have an overview of Bitcoin Layers, what could potentially be a scam, what's up and coming, what's new, what's EVM, what's, working on BitVM, what's X, Y, and Z, right? What's merge mining, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to read a few points in this. Some Bitcoin Layers stats from our internal docs. You may think this is bullish. I'm not convinced. How many layers? 80 plus projects have been announced. Of those, around 15 aren't very active, and we even have a few rug pulls. Is it all EVM? Of the 70 projects that are doing sidechains, just over 30 are planning to use the EVM, but we're starting to see some new projects differentiating there. And a list of some projects plan on using Move MV, which I'm not familiar with. I need to do some research on that. And some using SVM. I'm also not familiar with that as well. Teams like Citria and BitLayer Labs are planning to go multi-VM. Stacks has got clarity. Okay, so let's get to the tokens, right? 47 projects have launched or are planning to launch a token. 10-ish are running incentivized testnets, points programs, and other related campaigns. I suspect 95+% of these projects will launch tokens. Another one of these projects that's currently doing an incentivized testnet is Citria, which I believe maybe we've briefly talked about on this channel, is one that I'm trying to pay attention to. They're in the middle of a DevNet incentivized testnet, and they're like doing NFTs and like all that kind of stuff. So Citria might be one to look at, okay? More interestingly, I can confirm we found 6 rug pulls that are 100% confirmed or highly likely. Another 4 we are tracking. These numbers will go up. Unfortunately, every other ecosystem map has these projects listed as hot new L2s. So again, as we've been saying over and over, a lot of these, quote, Bitcoin L2 projects are scams. So make sure you're going to trusted sources. You're looking at sites in Twitter's like Bitcoin Layers, and getting real good information before you start throwing money at things, right? Do your own research. And also in here is a mention of Build on Bob, Botanics Labs, Rootstock, things of that nature. So definitely go follow Bitcoin Layers and stay updated on what's hot and new and what to look out for and stay away from as well. All right, moving forward. Munib, you don't sell Bitcoin to buy property. Let me know in the chat. Do you agree or do you not agree? Let me know in the chat Would you sell Bitcoin to buy property, to buy a house, to buy a duplex, maybe an investment property, maybe some land? Let me know your thoughts on that. I do want to point out down here, this protocol replied, so true. You borrow against your BTC to buy property on Zest protocol in Q4. So that's going to be interesting, right? Of course, we know that there are already ways to borrow against your BTC and get, dollars off of that. But to be able to do that decentralized on Zest protocol sounds very nice. Very, very nice. So let's move on the topic of property. And I guess just to talk about this a little bit, I think there was something I pulled up a few episodes ago about someone explaining why your house is a shitcoin. I think I have that saved somewhere. It was brilliant, like how he broke everything down. And so yeah, do you really sell your Bitcoin for property? I don't know. And like someone said down here, anybody can do what they want with their money. And I believe that fully as well. If you want to sell your Bitcoin and buy some property, love that for you. Let's go over here to Jack Mallers while we're talking about property. But first, we have to hear from our dear friend, Elizabeth Warren.
Home for 7. You ever wonder how your grandparents bought a home for 7 raspberries, but you can't afford a 1-bedroom apartment? It's not you. We're facing a national shortage of 7 million homes, and renters and buyers are having to deal with the consequences. The government needs to tackle this crisis head on, just like we helped people afford their homes decades ago. So I have a bill that would lower rents by 10% and would help first-time homebuyers get a foot in the door. It's time to get this done. You ever wonder how your grandparents...
Yo. Jack says, you can't afford a home because the government printed too much money, devaluing the dollar and making your savings worthless. Want to own a home? You don't need new policies. You need new money. Saving dollars, life gets more expensive. Saving Bitcoin, life gets cheaper. And we have a popular graphic here showing that life is better on Bitcoin. Oh, Elizabeth Warren. So while we're on the topic of politics and policies, let's get into the next session, the next section of this, and our presidential candidates. Crawfish, is that bill she is sponsoring called Burr? I think it is something like that. I think it starts with that. Oh, yeah. All right. So, real quickly, Donald J. Trump here. Yeah. We're about to shake up the crypto world with something huge. Decentralized finance is the future. Don't get left behind. And also, Eric Trump as well chimed in. I have truly fallen in love with crypto DeFi. Stay tuned for a big announcement. Oh. We'll see. We'll see. Donald Trump Jr., he did post something on his Twitter today that was a telegram saying join the telegram and get the latest info and news on whatever they're working on. If you're in that, let me know what they're working on. Moving on to Trump here. Let's first acknowledge that Trump was at the Bitcoin conference, right? I watched it live. It was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. It was. He he definitely said a lot of key words and a lot of things you would want to hear, I guess, as someone who invests in Bitcoin and crypto. But it was just overall a hot mess. But let's see here what he says, and we're on Swan Bitcoin YouTube channel.
Will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And
that one I can get by. If someone can just tell Elizabeth Warren to just go away.
I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
I can get behind that as well. We definitely do not want CBDCs. Now, the question is, can we believe anything that he's saying, right? We do know, and this is why I was like so taken aback by a bunch of Bitcoiners just like parading for Trump on Twitter. It was just like really weird. It was just weird. I'm like, why are y'all, kissing the feet of this guy on Twitter? And what's crazy is because just a couple weeks before that, during the Republican National Convention, right, he was talking shit about Bukele, right? And just like blatant lies talking about El Salvador and what Bukele is doing and sending gangsters to America. It was just like what? So I don't understand kind of the disconnect of like how as a Bitcoiner you can, listen to this and one, not feel any sort of suspect that he's pandering to us or, this, that, and the other. And then he's also talking trash about El Salvador and Bukele. And it's just like, what are we doing? Okay. Now and stick with me here. Okay. Stick with me. So allegedly, Trump is for crypto, right? They're saying all the right things. So they are pro crypto, pro Bitcoin. Let's hope that sticks, right? So where is Kamala at with all of this? And I don't think anyone really knows, right? Over here on Cointelegraph, it says Kamala, she's never had strong words for or against digital currencies, tokenization, blockchain, or non-fungible tokens, right? So we don't really know. And I keep hoping that she's going to come out with some sort of stance or statement regarding it. But I think what is interesting here, it says, finally, it's worth considering the razor-thin margins between support for Trump and Biden before the latter ended his re-election bid. Imagine a scenario where Harris needs to hurry up and find a few percentage points to justify her candidacy. Then the real question is whether coming out pro-crypto would help or hurt her against Trump. So, I don't know. Like, is Kamala just going to try to say the right things as well to get a few extra voters on her, a few extra Bitcoin crypto voters on her side? I don't know. For me, it's all a circus, right? I will say, if you're looking to have some more neutral commentary on the state of politics and Bitcoin, Matthew Cratter is doing a great job at covering this. He has Bitcoin Trump and the Swamp. He has All Aboard the Bitcoin Trump Train, which is incredibly good. Please go and listen to this video. And he also has Trump, RFK Jr. and Bitcoin. So he has some videos on here, and he's very good at staying neutral and talking about these things. And as for me, this is where I'm at, right? Trump, Vance, 2024, MAGA, Harris, Walz, 2024, Kamala is brat, people going back and forth, bickering, fighting, throwing, choice words at one another. I'm over here doing my own thing. I don't care, to be perfectly honest. I just need to stack more Bitcoin. I need to stack more stats is about where I'm at right now. I will say, if Kamala comes out with a pro Bitcoin, crypto, or even neutral, that's going to be great for us, right? We already know Bitcoin. We already know Trump is, giving the thumbs up. If Kamala does, then I would definitely feel like we're smooth sailing into 2025 as well. So y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this. Politics, not really my thing. I'm not too involved in it. I just know I need to stack more sats. That's what I'm sticking with. All right, next. If you're tuned in, hit that thumbs up. Let me know if you have any thoughts or comments. Let's move forward. Jacob Brown here, who's a notable name in the Stacks, community, said here, I got married over the weekend. 'Twas a beautiful day all around. Also rejoined the dojo. Too many more blessings. Okay. And so if you remember back in April, and I think I talked about this in a live, Jacob said, this ninja just paid for my wedding. Bittersweet to paper hand, while TO and the Ninja Alerts team are crushing it right now, but real life stressors come first. And I almost hate that he said real life stressors, right? Because this is the point. Do not forget why you're doing this. This is the point. You buy an NFT, you get airdropped an NFT, it goes up, right? It's worth hella money. Then you sell it, and you have an awesome wedding. That's the point. It's the point. I'm not sure what other point there is, unless you just want to hold on to a piece of art or hold on to an NFT because you have some deep, dire connection towards it. Like, the point is to make money on it and sell it and do some real life shit with it, right? And so that's why we get into our exit plan, okay? And our exit strategy. Hey, Crawfish, I see your comment. I'll get to it here in a second. So what is an exit strategy and an exit plan? Exit strategy refers to, let me go back to that. Exit strategy refers to how a business owner or investor will liquidate an asset once predetermined conditions have been met. An exit plan helps to minimize potential losses and maximize profits by keeping emotions in check and setting quantifiable goals Thank you. Okay, let's go back up. Let's go back up here. Why is it important to have an exit plan? Businesses and investors should have a clearly defined exit plan to minimize potential losses and maximize profits. Let's repeat that. To minimize potential losses and maximize profits on their investments. Here's some reasons why. Okay? This is why it's important to have an exit plan. It removes emotions. An exit plan removes emotions from the decision-making process. Having a predetermined level at which to exit an investment or sell a business helps avoid panic selling or making rushed decisions when emotions are high, or better yet, I'd add, not making a decision at all, which could accentuate a loss or not fully realize a profit. This is a big one. This is it right here. Because how many of y'all last cycle, I'm raising my hand, got in your ego in the height of the bull run? How many of us made the most money we ever saw in our entire lives and we didn't cash out? Because we were in our ego, because we were greedy, because we thought it was a super cycle, because we thought it was going to go up more, because we thought I'm going to diamond hands this because this is the blue chip project. This is the blue chip NFT. And look. Stick with me. Stick with me. Let me finish this real quick. Okay. Goal setting. Having an exit plan with specific goals helps answer important questions and guides future strategic decision making. Okay. Unexpected events. Unexpected events are a part of life. Therefore, it's essential to have an exit strategy for what happens when things don't go to plan. Right? That super cycle never happened. That 80K that I thought Bitcoin was going to go to and I was going to start cashing some things out, it never happened. So I never cashed anything out. All right. Let me go over here real quick to really put this into perspective. Okay. I had trouble pulling up OpenSea on desktop, but I pulled it up on my phone. Let's just take, for example, the artifact monolith 1, the original artifact monolith. Okay. Okay. In the height, the all-time high of the artifact monolith, again, that was airdropped to me. Okay, this was back in April of 2022. It airdropped in February. We saw the all-time high in April of 2022 of the artifact monolith. The all-time high at that time of the artifact monolith was about 9 Ether. Okay. What was the price? What was the price of Ether, of Ethereum back in April 2022? Okay, let's do some math. So, and this is just one NFT, right? And it was airdrop. This was just one NFT. So let's just go on the low end, $3,000. 3,000 times 9. That's $27,000. Okay. One NFT. That was airdropped to me in April 2022. Was worth $27,000 at one point. And I didn't cash it out. I held on to it. And it turned out to be shit. It turned out to eventually, now I will say, the monolith, it opened up. It gave me more NFTs to sell if I had sold them. But we later realized that essentially all the monolith did was give us access to buy artifact products. I'm not making the same mistake. I'm not doing it. If y'all, let me take a minute. I'm feeling activated. You know? $27,000. How many trips could I have taken with that? How many trips with my parents could I have taken with that? Taking them on some international trips, you know? What's that? That's 2 down payments of a home right there, right? Gone. Because of what? Because I was dumb. That's why. Now, granted, I'll give myself some grace because we were all in a very speculative place. We were speculating. We didn't know what any of this stuff was going to really be worth. I know now I'm not going to let that kind of money slip through the cracks because of being a diamond hand holder or because of wanting to see what it's going to turn into. No. Not me. Not anymore. It's a new Michelle URL in this cycle. Okay. So let's get into an exit plan. Okay. So this is a dummy exit plan. None of these numbers are real. I went through, I copied my actual one. I went in here, changed numbers and things of that nature. So none of these numbers are real. Okay. Let's go over here to loans because this is an important one. If you're taking out collateralized loans, could you tell me right now how much you have in debt? Could you tell me how much across all of the platforms that money you have deposited? There's a mosquito in here. Could you tell me right now with certainty how much money you have deposited and how much money you have borrowed? Because I can, right? I can tell you how much my borrowed money is costing me per month, which is another thing that I've learned with these collateralized loans, right? You have to take into account the interest day to day that you're accumulating on these loans, right? Because that adds to your health score, right? Or affects your health score. So that can creep up really easily. Can you tell me what wallets they're in? Right? Can you tell me what address is connected to them? Can you tell me what platform? Right? I'm not playing games with y'all. I'm not playing games. If you don't have your shit in a spreadsheet, you don't know where your stuff is, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's why I'm saying, like, if I have to spend 4 weeks going through every single wallet, every single address on every single network to make sure I don't fuck this up, then that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's move forward. Now, this is one I still need to work with my Excel developer and figure some things out. But I also want to track how much I'm actually stacking, right? How much do I actually have stacking, right? Because this matters, because remember, a part of the strategy is remembering I'm going to have to wait 2 weeks to unstack my stacks to even cash out if I wanted to, right? Let's move forward. NFTs and ordinals. Every single NFT, and in my original one, I have like almost 70 NFTs, right? If you have NFTs right now, can you really tell me where they all are? Can you really tell me the initial purchasing amount, right? And again, I need to go back through and I'm going to have to go back through again with my developer and change some things on here, because really I don't think I need all of this information, right? This right here. But can you tell me how much you pay for it? You know, can you tell me where it's located? What network it's on? I'm telling you, it's going to fall through the cracks if you don't have it laid out. Now let's go over here. Let's go to stacks, for example. Okay. And again, all of this data in here, not real. Okay. But let's say you have a total of like 5,000 stacks, right? One, again, I want to know how that breaks down. All right. I have 2,500 in the Leather Chrome wallet. I have 1,500 in the Xverse Vivaldi browser. I have 400 in the Leather Brave browser, right? I know exactly where everything is, and this is the bread and butter right here. Okay? Because we know the previous all-time high for stacks is $3.86. Okay? Where do we think it's going to go? I've seen some crazy numbers this cycle of where it's going to go. Let's just say it goes to $35. We could even take it down if we wanted to, right? What that's going to do is first sell price. If I put in here first sell price is going to be at the all-time high, right? 386 all-time high is going to be first sell price. If I sell 5% of my holdings, that's going to be 265 stacks, right? At the price of $3.86. That's going to be a total of $1,024, right? This is what I'm talking about. Having an exit strategy. So when it hits that all-time high, boom, I'm not even thinking about when I'm selling. It's there. Boom. Sell completed. Yes. Right? So for me, going into this bull, I'm just going through here saying yes, 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 yes. Sold. Same over here with Cardano. Right? Previous, let's say we want to start cashing out. The previous all-time high was $3.09. Let's say we want to cash out at $2.69 because they're not looking so hot right now, right? We're going to cash out a little bit early. Cashing out 15% of the holdings is a sell amount of 3,000 ADA at a sell price of $2.69 with a sell value total of $8,000. And that's just 15% of the holdings, right? But again, the key, this goes to yes. Sold, sold, Sold. That's what we're doing this bull run. And you can even come over here and do the same thing with dog. These are dog numbers over here, right? So again, please have a strategy. And I don't even want to ask. I just want to be like, have a strategy. You need a strategy. We need strategies. We need plans. Or I promise you, yo, you're going to be looking crazy. Just how you were looking crazy and I was looking crazy last cycle when we didn't cash out. Looking crazy, bro. All that super cycle bullshit. Bitcoin to 100,000. I still think Bitcoin is going to get to 100,000. But again, you start listening to all this stuff. That's what I'm saying. You got to take the emotion out of it. You got to take the emotion out of it. You got to expect the unexpected. Right? What if Bitcoin, and again, I'm not planning to sell any of my Bitcoin. Again, if you are, do you? But what if Bitcoin doesn't get to 100,000? Maybe we set it right at 97,000. Maybe we start cashing out at 85. Right? And another thing that I learned from digital asset investor, I think his name is, years ago, he was talking about if people think kind of stay away from even numbers in a sense, or like highly predicted prices. So everybody, Bitcoin to 100K, right? That's kind of the big incoming price. Maybe you start selling at 97, right? Just to make sure you lock it in. Again, stacks, previous all-time high 386. Maybe you start selling at 325. Why not? It's profit. Why not? Ego, greed, that's why. And so the other part of this strategy, which I'm going to have to really work on, and I've been talking to Creole about this. So if we cash out, what do we cash out into? Right? So for me, what that's looking like is I am going to be putting some in dollars for a specific reason. And I will be putting some into stablecoin as well. And so maybe that looks like, getting over here on Hermetica, trying to, take advantage of this 25% yield. Who knows? Again, very risky. Extreme risk. Anything with yield on it in DeFi, consider it risky, right? But that's the next step. What do we cash out into? And another thing that I'm trying to plan out is, okay, what does this look like in terms of when I start cashing out? What is the priorities in which I use that money or put that money? I said that terribly, but hopefully you get what I mean. So one, my objective is to pay off collateralized loans ASAP. ASAP Rocky. I'm paying them off. Why? Because I want to remove that liquidity from the contracts. For me. And if anything, remove the majority of the liquidity from the contracts. Because why? Because motherfuckers get hacked. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. This stuff is risky. All these collateralized loans, putting this money in these contracts and things of that nature. I'm trying to get out of it ASAP, Rocky. I don't trust none of them. Okay. And then move liquidity into cash, stable coin, right? And eventually back into Bitcoin, right? If I could draw an arrow and say back into Bitcoin when we see Bitcoin come back to, during the bear market, come back to a level to where I want to start throwing money in. Of course, I'm dollar cost averaging every day, every week. But when I really want to start throwing cash in is when the price is most desirable, if you will, right? Let's go. Y'all hit that thumbs up. All right, let's go to the comments. Crawfish. Of the three candidates, only RFK seems to really understand crypto. Trump seems like just using it as a talking point. I don't like politics at all. Same. I don't like it at all. It's just all a bunch of bullshit to me. It's all a shit show. Crawford seems like it's all just to give us an illusion of a choice. Yeah. Yep. No decision is a decision. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, yeah. Yeah. Joe Cardano is the 2020 Bitcoin crash of this cycle. Oh man, I don't know what's going on with Cardano. I don't know. I'm glad to see some of the big ADA heads still talking about it and stuff like that. Because again, I still have my holding, so I hope it does well. But I don't know what's going on over there. Crawfish, Celsius, and Luna were offering great interest last cycle too. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like anything with yield on it, consider your money already gone. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If you're getting into any of this stuff, do your research. Move with extreme amounts of caution. Move with extreme amounts of skepticism. Right? Consider your money already gone. Okay? That's why I'm like, I'm removing my liquidity ASAP Rocky. Paying this shit off, getting it out of these contracts, and I'm good. And that's another thing. That's also why it's important to diversify what you're depositing your money into, right? So, and I've talked about this. But, so this is real, and I've talked about this before. I have money in Arcadico, what is it? Zest, Segment, Interlay, and Liquid. I have it diversified, right? Because if one of these motherfuckers fucks up, okay, I can stay calm. I have something somewhere else, right? Diversify in these platforms. Expect them to fuck up. Uncut Underground. 25K again. Creole, stop running my G. 25K again, what you mean? Oh, y'all. That was one NFT, bro. That was one, well, only one. But we live and we learn, don't we? And we don't make the same mistakes twice, right? All right, I'm going to go through this last bit very quickly because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Okay, Stacks Foundation. On August 28th, final code for Nakamoto will be shipped to network operators and the activation window will open. So everything is a go as of now, right? If you want to read more about that, come to this post on Stacks Foundation Twitter, okay? And I will say, as we get closer, stay in these stay in these stacks streets. A lot of things are ramping up. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of devs doing things. There's a lot of projects getting ready to release things and things of that nature. So I know a lot of us are tired, especially after last week, but do not give up, friend. Okay, we're close. We got to keep going. The time is now. Okay. Real quickly, I want to shout out or just take a moment for Stacks City. A lot is going on over here. And again, pay attention, right? They released something called the bonding curve. I don't know if it was Trevor or who was talking about that, but there's devs talking about what it is and all the capabilities, all that kind of stuff in Twitter. So if you want more information on that, but again, go into this stuff, play around with this stuff, connect. And let me go back over here to some notes. Okay, Bitcoin L2, Satria DevNet campaign. We talked about that earlier. So again, I think Satria is one that we should be keeping an eye on. I think it would be a good idea to pay attention to their campaign that they have going on right now. Okay. Stacks Streets has been going on for this past month, which I was surprised I didn't see it, hear about it earlier. But you can go to Stacks Streets. If you go to the Stacks stx.btc Twitter, I believe, right? They have a link and information to what Stacks Streets is, but essentially you do tasks, you get NFTs, and you can get qualified for airdrops of prizes and things, right? Stack City, we just talked about that. Nakamoto, we're good on that. Artifact Animus and shoe shipment, good on that. Leo, Stacks NFTs, again, something to, I think, to look out for. Again, I think they're getting ready for, the release of Nakamoto, and we know Leo is heavily involved in the Stacks ecosystem. So a lot of things happening, y'all. So hang in there. Hang in there. Okay. Lastly, Bitcoin is everything people don't know about computers combined with everything they don't understand about money. This is the simplest, truest statement. I never in my life thought I would know this amount of information about code and development and computers and things of that nature. And I still don't know anything, but I know a lot more than what I did before Bitcoin. I didn't know a thing about money before Bitcoin. I thought I knew some things, but I had no idea the rabbit hole that Bitcoin was about to take me in with money and the system and how things work on a global level. And it's like, once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? Very well said and simply said. Last thing before I get off of here. If you want to know more information about this Excel sheet, where I got it from, who I'm working with on it, because I did get this, well, I guess I can say this. I got it on Etsy, okay, Lindsay B Designs, but I had her customize this to my needs. So the one that I have, I don't know if it's on her Etsy or not. Maybe you could go and ask her, hey, can you get me the Excel sheet with the loan page and, you know, the NFT page? You could probably mention my name and she can sell it to you, right? But if you have any more questions on this, best way to contact me right now is through Instagram, unfortunately. I haven't been in Discord a whole lot. No, actually Twitter would probably, Twitter, Instagram are the best ways to contact me. So, all right. That's it, y'all. That's it. Hang in there. Hang in there. Stay optimistic. Stay vigilant. The light is at the end of the tunnel. The profits are at the end of the chart. All right, y'all, hit that thumbs up on the way out. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.